So we are here tonight to talk about the Safe Streets Initiative, enhancing road safety in Kalamazoo County. Again, I am Jim Hoekstra. I'm the Assistant County Engineer here at the Road Commission, Kalamazoo County. So we're going to talk about this project. This project is lovingly referred to as the SS4A. So if you've gotten a flyer in the mail, it probably has SS4A rather than the full title listed out. So if you hear me tonight referencing SS4A, that's the reason. So tonight we're going to cover a few topics. We're going to talk about what is SS4A. We're going to talk about SS4A and the Road Commission in terms of our action plan and our application for the grant and our selection for the grant. And then we will dive into the SS4A project, the Road Commission's project. At the end, we will also go over some frequently asked questions that we've been getting, and we will show you, I guess, where to go to provide feedback and questions as well. So tonight we're going to start a little bit of background. What is SS4A? Well, SS4A is Safe Streets and Roads for All. It is a discretionary grant program through the USDOT, the United States Department of Transportation. So again, what is the SS4A? The SS4A is Safe Streets and Roads for All. It is a discretionary grants program through the United States Department of Transportation. It is funded through the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, or the IIJA, which funds this program from 2022 through 2026. And the program allocates $5 billion of funding for regional, local, and tribal road safety initiatives. So continuing on, the SS4A supports the goal of Vision Zero roadway deaths using a safe systems approach. The grant covers studies, planning and demonstration, and implementation projects. It currently has awarded $2.9 billion, and out of that, $144 million has gone to Michigan. The Transportation Safety Action Plan. So this was a plan that the Road Commission developed. It is a safety plan for all roadway users. It was data-driven. It is collaborative, and the goal is to get to zero fatalities and serious injuries. This report was performed a couple years back, and it has a mix of findings. For instance, we found that the Road Commission, we typically get about 1,700 crashes per year, and about 15 of those per year are fatal. We also found that the total crashes in the county are fewer than the statewide average, and they're declining, which is a win. However, we also found that fatalities and serious crashes are more than the statewide average, and they're increasing, which is a problem. Additionally, we found that 50% of the fatalities and serious crashes are due to lane departure. So people leaving the lane, crossing the center line, or leaving the lane and leaving the roadway. We also found that frequently crashes are single vehicles. So not necessarily an accident between two vehicles, but perhaps somebody running off the road and hitting something. We have about 31% of our accidents are single vehicles. The statewide average is 22%, so we're higher than normal. And 80% of the crashes on our roadways that are serious tend to occur on primary roads, which are those that are more traveled. They have more traffic on them. They're busier, and I guess that kind of makes sense for the most part. So with that action plan, the plan also provided a variety of safety mitigation techniques. It also identified the top 50 intersections and road segments for crashes in the county, or the high crash locations. Of these, the top 10 intersections and segments were reviewed and looked at to determine the best countermeasures to prevent crashes. So we did a little bit of a deep dive into those top 10. As part of the action plan, we also sought and received public feedback. We received 324 survey responses and 184 location-specific concerns. So we had a mapping tool, and people were able to pin or drop in a concern at a location. Themes from this public feedback were congestion, delineation, speeding, lack of shoulders on the roadway, signals, visibility, and non-motorized. Most respondents felt that road commission roads are fairly safe. And here you can kind of see a little word diagram of the typical terms that were coming up from the public. So the Road Commission then proceeded to put forward a grant application. We submitted in May of 2024 for USDOT consideration. We requested $25 million in SS4A grant funds. This was supported by Representative Bill Huizenga and also by the Kalamazoo Bike Club. On September 10th of last year, the Road Commission was awarded this grant. We are very pleased to have that. We are the 10th largest grant award in the United States, and we are also the largest grant in the state of Michigan. We had a press conference, and as you see here, we also had some media coverage at that time. So we were very, very pleased with that. So as far as the Road Commission's project, the project that we submitted for this funding, it was really focused on those lane departure crashes, which again are the most frequent for us and the most severe. It featured low cost and high impact countermeasures, which included center line and shoulder rumble strips, providing adequate clear zone, shoulder widening, edge lines, and improves curve signage. So we're going to kind of dive into those different techniques or aspects of the program, of the project. Rumble strips, for instance, we proposed centerline rumble strips on all 130 miles of the roads within the project. We also proposed shoulder rumble strips installed on 74 miles of the roads within the project. Those roads that get the shoulder rumble strips would not be the ones that are in our non-motorized master plan. So we took into consideration the non-motorized traffic, and we will not be installing rumble strips on any roads that are listed in our non-motorized master plan. So the impact of these, centerline rumble strips have typically shown a 55% reduction in crashes. These are figures according to the state. Shoulder rumble strips result in usually about 20% reduction in crashes. RCKC has had some experience with rumble strips in the past. We've done 3 projects actually, 2 in 2015 and 1 in 2022. We did Sprinkle Road, 12th Street, and we did another section of Sprinkle Road. We found a significant reduction in crashes by these treatments. The charts you see here are what appear. It is the fatal on the left side, the fatal and serious injury crashes per year, before and after, and on the right side, the total crashes per year before and after. What we see here is we've significantly cut the fatal and serious injury crashes per year on all 3 projects. In one case, we've had 0 since the project. We've also seen on the right side of the screen, the total crashes per year have dropped. In some cases significantly, and others a little bit less, but nonetheless, they are dropping because of these treatments. So what this means that we have prevented 17.7 fatalities and serious injuries in the years since these projects on these 3 roads. This also means that we've prevented 84-ish total crashes on these projects since the years that they were undertaken. Another aspect of this project is clear zone improvements. And I know that can be a tricky term. So to start with clear zone, what is it? It's the area beyond the traveled lane that is safe for an errant vehicle to get off the road. So should somebody fall asleep at the wheel or experience some kind of vehicle malfunction, they would go off the roadway into the clear zone, which is generally an area that includes shoulders, turn lanes, ditches, and the items in this area are generally breakaway safe or relocated for safety purposes. So we try not to put anything structural in this area, anything embedded in concrete within the clear zone. So for this project, clear zone improvements means tree removal, culvert extensions, roadside flattening, and potentially other fixed object removals, which could include rock or should somebody have another encroachment. I don't quite know what that means, but if we find something, a large chunk of concrete, that may have to go as well. We will also be native planting in the right of way after we remove these things from the clear zone. So additional benefits of these tree removals, which are probably the most impactful to residents. Removing the trees, I guess, first of all, is an improvement for safety, but it also improves the visibility of signs, signals, and traffic on the street. So if you're pulling up to a stop sign, you can see further down the road. It also improves emergency response and allows for the roadways to be cleared, so from tree debris or snow. It reduces wildlife hazards, so not having the trees and the brush that close to the road could keep the deer and small animals further away from the road as well. And another positive impact that we've considered is that the monarch butterfly appears to be threatened now, and so by improving these roadside habitats, removing trees, we'll be planting them with native species, milkweed and the like, that draw those monarch butterflies. So hopefully improving the habitat for those. So as I said, clear zone improvements are primarily for safety. So when it comes to that, removing these objects from the roadway or the clear zone generally is associated with a 75% reduction in crashes. Increasing the clear zone also has a reduction in crashes associated with it of 22%. Flattening slopes, so making those ditches a little bit less severe or the drop off along the side of the road less severe, tends to result in a 15% reduction. Culvert extensions, so that errant vehicles do not hit a culvert. There is a reduction in crashes associated with that. And improved sight distance at intersections has a reduction in crashes of over 48%. Another item in the project that we talked about earlier is shoulder widening. So we plan to widen 17 miles of roadway by putting 3 foot of paved shoulder on them. We also anticipate widening 3.7 miles of non-motorized roadway to provide a safe area for bikes and non-motorized users. With these, we anticipate 16% reduction in crashes. And also we talked briefly about pavement markings and signs. So this will happen on all 130 miles of the project. New edgeline pavement markings will be on 17 miles. So this is roads where we don't have the width currently to put the white line on the outside. We will be putting that on and widening the road for 17 miles. Adding these edgeline pavement markings tends to result in a 15% reduction in crashes. So, in summary, this project does address 28 of the top 50 high crash areas in the county. It involves 29.3% of our primary road network. So it's covering a little bit more than a quarter of our primary roads in this county. These locations are all shovel ready, so we didn't have to acquire any right-of-way easements or anything like that. And as I said, it's going to be on 130 miles of rural roadway. This, I think, as we talked about, 17 miles of widening, 54 miles of paving. So a good number of these will be new pavement. 130 miles of rumble strips, pavement markings, and signs. And there will also be 6 left turn lanes added. And this project we anticipate will be complete in 5 years. That is the grant parameters. So this map here, I believe, is posted to our website. If not, it will be shortly. But this is the SS4A project, and it does show here color-coded what the different treatments are. So you can see on here the red would be a reconstruction where we are taking the road all the way down to gravel, reconstructing, and then putting in the shoulder, the rumble strips, as well as the clear zone improvements. The orange would be a resurfacing job, but widening the road, and again, the rumble strips and clear zone improvements. The blue would be a paving job to facilitate the rumble strips, clear zone improvements, pave markings and signs. And the green is where we are simply looking at cutting the trees. The pavement will accept the rumble strips as is, and we will be doing pave marking and signs. And then you can see the purple dots representing the potential turn lanes. So current progress of this project, we have a website that is up, and we are putting everything up there as we get it. This website is your first stop shop for any information on this project. Maps, presentations like this will be posted to that website. Flyers, news releases, media, that kind of thing, all will be on this website. So feel free to go there. We also are working on federal environmental clearances. We're working through that right now. We are doing tree surveys. I expect a number of you have probably seen the marks, the paint marks on the trees. So we're doing tree surveys. And we are also working through finalizing the FHWA, or Federal Highway agreement for this project. So before we can do any further work, shovels in the ground, we need to have the agreement in place. So I'm going to walk through here. You may not be able to see the map, but I'll walk through in terms of what to expect for the next 5 years. In 2025, we expect to send out 75 miles of roadway for tree letter notifications. So letting folks know what's coming for their trees, that they can respond saying if they want the wood or if they want us to take away the wood. We'll also be developing design and specifications for bids. And in the fall, we're anticipating about 35 miles of tree removal, which equates to about 1,500 trees. In 2026, we anticipate 40 miles of tree removal. We anticipate 75 miles of rumble strip installation, pave markings and signs, 26 miles of paving, which includes 1.1 miles of widening. 2027, we expect 29 miles of road for tree removal. We anticipate 29 miles of road both for the rumble strips, the pave markings and signs, as well as for paving. And of those 29 miles, 8.4 will be widening. And the map on the side does show these by year. This map is the same as what's on our website, so you can filter based upon the year if you would like, and it's all color-coded in that regard. 2028, we anticipate 16 miles of road for tree removal, 16 miles of road for rumble strips and signs and markings. 8.3 of that will be newly paved roads, and 2 miles of that will be widening. And then lastly, in 2029, this will be the final year of the project. We expect 9 miles of road for tree removal, for paint, signs, paving, and widening. All of those things will happen for those 9 miles of road. So again, mentioned earlier, the website is the first stop shop for staying up to date with this project. We do have on there the project locations and an interactive map, breaking it out by the years. And I believe we also specify the different treatments and a lot more information on there than I can cover tonight. We also talk about the current progress and updates. So any new updates will be posted there. We have our safety action plan posted there as well, should anybody desire to see that. We have presentations like this, meeting information. There will be future meetings as we get into this project. So those jobs that require are very invasive to residents, may involve a detour, something like that. Those we will have further meetings. So we will keep you informed as those proceed. We also have our FAQ, or frequently asked questions, on the website. And we also have a way for you to contact us should you have any concerns, questions. And we'll go to that now. So this here is what our website looks like. This is the SS4A tab. You can see along the top in the green bar, highlighted in red, is the area where you can click on to go to the SS4A tab. As you can see here, we have all those items we talked about, the map, the progress, the action plan, frequently asked questions. It's all up here. Now, should you have a question for us and you want to interact with us and provide feedback or inquire about your road in particular, we do have this button at the top, say service requests. We would ask that you please submit all questions to that. That way we can log the questions, we can respond to you properly, we can look at your particular area of concern or area of questioning, and we can get you a proper answer. We also have another way to get a hold of us is this contact us at the bottom. It'll take you to the same area. It's a service request system. And again, you can submit your questions there and we will try to follow up with them in about 14 days. So now we are going to go into a couple of the frequently asked questions. So I'll cover those here tonight. So first of all, we've been asked what specific safety improvements will be on my road? And I know that's the question probably a lot of us have is we're talking about 130 miles of road, but everybody probably wants to know what's going to happen in front of their house. I can definitely say that it will have rumble strips. I can say that it will have tree removal, paved markings, and sign updates. Depending on your location, it may have paving and widening. That is where I would recommend that you check the map for details. Those roads will be called out and noted on the map. So how are these roads selected for the project? Well, again, these roads were selected based upon that action plan that we put together a couple of years back, which was based upon crash history or crash rates and public feedback. These roads are generally rural in nature. They are primary roads carrying higher volumes, and they generally have higher speed. So another question people might ask is why rumble strips? Aren't these for use only on highways? Well, they are typically used on highways. You'll find them on I-94, 131, any of the M routes really will have them, but there have been success of using them on two-lane roads, and we've seen that here at the Road Commission as well. Many states and counties are seeing the benefits. They are very highly effective and they are low cost. So how will this project affect road access? So in terms of getting to your house, to your driveway, what should you expect? Well, it will vary. Most work will require at least a temporary lane or shoulder closure. Some projects, however, if we're going to be paving the road, they may need to be closed and detoured. So depending on which road you're on and what the treatment is, it could be a different situation. There are 130 miles in this project, so it could be a vast array of different treatments and different impacts to you. So please watch our project website for further updates and details. Another question that we've gotten is, how will the rumble strips affect cyclists? Well, we understand that, putting the rumble strips on the outside edge of the road in the area where the bikes typically ride will result in a rough and uncomfortable riding surface. Probably unsafe for the bikers as well. We are committed to the safety of all users, so we will not be installing the shoulder rumble strips on any non-motorized route on our master plan. We will still install them on the center lines to prevent a head-on crash or somebody veering into an opposing lane, but we will not be putting them in the paved shoulder area where the bikes are generally riding. We are also working with our local bike advocacy groups to strike the right balance. We understand that road safety is important and preventing deaths is very important. We also understand that non-motorized users are important. And so we're trying to strike the right balance between the different facets of this project. What about the noise from the rumble strips? So rumble strips do create noise. Noise and vibration are good for the drivers in this case. That is the purpose of the rumble strips. They are there to, wake up a sleeping driver or get somebody to think about, pay attention to where they're going and put down the phone as they're driving down the road. However, noise can be a concern for homeowners who are adjacent to the road. That being said, we are working on ways to minimize unnecessary noise. So whether that means that we might make the rumble strips maybe not as deep, or maybe we make them a little bit narrower, or we push them a little bit off the white line. Any of those things we are looking into. We are trying to strike the right balance with the needs of the road safety and the resident comfort. So understand, we understand that concern. We are working through it, and design will take that into consideration. Another question, what will happen to trees in the right-of-way? Well, we touched on this to a degree. Trees will be cut. They are considered a fixed object. They don't move for cars. And since we're trying to prevent serious accidents with hard objects in the right-of-way in that clear zone, all trees will be removed within the right-of-way. So from 33 feet from the center line of the road. The RCKC is at this time not replacing trees. Ultimately, this project is about saving lives. So we understand that the trees are important. They provide benefit to both residents, nature, everybody. But we are trying to, again, strike that balance between roadway safety and the trees. If you have a specific concern about the tree, if you have one or two in particular, if there's something that strikes you and you have further questions about trees, again, back to our website, please share those thoughts and concerns with us. We can talk to you about it. And, you know, if there's a tree that's at the back edge of the right of way, maybe we can look at it to remain. We can look at that specifically. But if you have concerns, let us know. So how will this improvement project affect the environment? Well, tree removals will be done in accordance with the best practices to minimize harm to the ecosystem. So we are going to cut trees in the tree cutting season so as not to affect bats or any tree diseases. Typically when we pave a road, we do recycle pavement. So we use recycled pavement when we pave. So again, that promotes further sustainability. And the other thing I want to share is that we are, again, using that native seeding. So we're going to use seeding for wildflowers and native plants. We're not looking to bring in invasives or anything like that. We're going to use local native seeding. So again, I've mentioned the website. Another avenue, if you choose to, is RCKC Connect. You can sign up for RCKC Connect. This is a good way, if not just for the SS4A project, you can receive updates and alerts on road construction, road closures and detours, or just general public news. You can find that at our website. You can sign up to receive texts, emails, I think even voicemails, but all of those avenues are open to you if you want to sign up for RCKC Connect. Additionally, we have other ways to talk to us. We have our phone number. We have a brick and mortar at 4400 South 26th Street. We have a website. Again, we've talked about that. We have Facebook. Some of you might be viewing this on Facebook, so you're already familiar with that. We have Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So with that, I'm going to end the presentation here. Thank you all for attending tonight. I hope this was informative. Again, if you have any further questions, we'd be more than happy to talk to you about them. We will not be taking questions on this topic, on this project online here tonight. However, we do want to make sure that we get back in touch with you. So we ask that you go to our website or log a service request, call us up, log a service request that way, and we will follow up with you accordingly, and we'll try to talk to you about your specific concerns. So again, thank you, and I hope everybody found this informative this evening.